He conquered the known world. He never lost a single battle, and he was dead at 32. In just 13 years, one man conquered more land than any human before or after him. This is the story of Alexander the Great, a king, a conqueror, a god, and one of the most complicated humans who ever lived. The night he was born, one of the 7 wonders of the world burned down. His mother said his real father was Zeus himself. His father, Philip II, had built the most powerful army in the world. He gave it all to Alexander. Alexander would use it to break the world. At age 10, he tamed a horse so wild no soldier could ride it. He noticed it was scared of its own shadow, so he turned it to face the sun. His father turned to his generals and said, "Son, seek a kingdom worthy of yourself. Macedon is too small for you." The boy was 10. Philip hired Aristotle, the greatest mind alive, as his personal tutor. For 3 years, Alexander studied everything. But one book obsessed him above all. He slept with the Iliad under his pillow and a dagger beside it. He wanted to be Achilles, fearless, glorious, immortal. At 13, while his father was away at war, Alexander crushed a rebellion and founded his first city. He named it after himself. It would not be the last. In 336 BC, his father was assassinated at his own daughter's wedding. Alexander was 20. He secured the throne within hours. When Thebes rebelled, he razed it completely. Every building destroyed, except one, the home of the ancient poet Pindar, because Alexander never forgot he loved poetry. At 22, he crossed into Asia with 40,000 men. He threw a spear into Asian soil and declared the continent won by the spear. The Persian Empire had no idea what was coming. His first stop in Asia was Troy, to visit the grave of his hero Achilles. He ran barefoot around the tomb in full armor. Nobody recorded what he whispered. At Issus, Darius brought 100,000 men. Alexander had 35,000. He charged straight at the Persian king himself. Darius turned and ran, abandoning his own family on the battlefield. When the island city of Tyre refused to surrender, Alexander built a road across the sea to reach it. 1/2 mile of stone through the ocean. It took 7 months. Then he destroyed it. He took Egypt without a single battle. The Egyptians hated Persian rule. They welcomed him as a liberator. The priests declared him son of Ra, a living god. Alexander accepted. He drew a city in the Egyptian sand with his bare hands. He called it Alexandria. It became the greatest city in the ancient world, and still carries his name today. At Gaugamela in 331 BC, Darius had 200,000 men. Alexander had 47,000. By sunset, the Persian Empire, which had ruled the world for 200 years, was finished. Forever. He burned Persepolis, the magnificent Persian capital, to the ground. Some say it was revenge. Some say it was a drunken mistake. He reportedly wept the next morning. The deeper he went, the more he became what he conquered. He started wearing Persian robes, following Persian customs. His generals were furious. He didn't care. At a drunken dinner, he killed his general Clytus in a rage, a man who had once saved his life in battle. He locked himself away for 3 days, refusing to eat, destroyed by guilt. He marched his army over the Hindu Kush mountains in winter, passes over 11,000 feet high. When soldiers collapsed, Alexander got off his horse and walked beside them in the snow. The further east he went, the more paranoid he became. He uncovered real assassination plots among his own officers, men he had known since childhood. He executed them. In India, his army faced war elephants for the first time, ancient tanks. His men were terrified. Alexander devised a new tactic on the spot, in a monsoon, across a river. he still won. After defeating Indian King Porus, Alexander asked how he wished to be treated. Porus said, as a king. Alexander returned his kingdom and made him an ally. He always respected a worthy enemy. After the battle, his horse Bucephalus, who had carried him for 22 years through every war, died. Alexander wept openly and founded a city in the horse's name. At the Hyphasis River, his men refused to go further. 8 years, 17,000 miles. Alexander begged, raged, and sulked for 3 days. It was the only time in his life he was told no. Marching back through the Gedrosian desert, thousands died of heat and thirst. When offered the last water, Alexander poured it into the sand, saying he would not drink what his men could not share. He organized the mass wedding of Susa. 10,000 of his soldiers married Persian women in a single ceremony. He was trying to physically fuse 2 civilizations into one. Most of his men divorced their wives shortly after he died. His best friend since childhood, Hephaestion, died of fever in 324 BC. Alexander stayed with the body for 2 days. He ordered the entire empire to mourn. He never fully recovered. Even then, even grieving, even visibly ill, he was already planning his next conquest. Arabia, then North Africa, then the Mediterranean. He would not stop until the world ran out. His own priests warned him, do not enter Babylon. A lion escaped and killed servants. His crown blew off. Alexander the Great did not believe in bad omens, only in himself. In June 323 BC, Alexander collapsed at a banquet in Babylon. For 11 days, the greatest conqueror in history lay burning with fever, fighting the one enemy he could not beat. His entire army was allowed to say goodbye, one by one. Thousands of battle-hardened soldiers walked past in silence and wept. He was too weak to speak. He could only move his eyes. When asked who should inherit his empire, Alexander used his last breath to answer. His generals spent 40 years tearing apart what he built in 13. No one could hold it. No one even came close. Julius Caesar wept at his statue. Napoleon studied his battles. His city, Alexandria, still stands. He was 32 years old. He never lost once. And 2,300 years later, we still can't stop talking about him.